To think my new desk would power over me.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Stranger Wonderland, where we lost episode 5, so we will be recapping that at the beginning of this episode. Our GM for tonight, as always, is the ever lovely and ever wonderful creator of the game, Marco.
Thank you. I am here.
And I am your host, Steven, playing the ever intelligent and ever sassy Sarah Sparrow. Joining me tonight also is our resident Elder Scrolls addict, Haley.
I don't have a problem. You shut your face.
Also our salt mine.
Look who's talking.
You're both salty.
And that is our second player, Zach.
Who was just being laughed at for falling out of his chair and hitting his head on his new desk.
Our sleepy boy, our resident
Not that
sleepy
we could
boy.
tell, because we can't exactly see you. All we did was hear all the commotion.
Yeah, that was actually kind of funny. Resident sleepy boy, Zach. He will be playing our skater boy, Russell. And
Yep.
Haley will be playing our resident bully, Jules.
Fuck yeah!
And last but not least is Eric.
Playing Vasily.
Playing Vasily, our
Kind of a loudmouth.
resident mobster. And he is our resident normal person.
Okay.
So, last we left off, why don't we recap? Because we missed out on we lost an entire episode, as said before. So, when we last off from episode 4, Jules was getting hounded by church people.
Yeah, getting hounded by church people because they found out that she and her friends got a hold of something that didn't belong to them exactly, but they didn't want to explain how it belonged to them instead of in the trash where they found it. And she promptly realized that as this conversation was going on, that somebody was approaching the room and that they were slowly descending into Wonderland around them. Quoting, and I quote, "Not this shit again." And she probably got into a fight with all the Wonderlandian church drones, because that's basically what they became at that point, using her little twists. And then she probably hid when the, I'm guessing, the quote-unquote bad guy entered the room, which turned out to be a giant scary birch tree lady.
It was highly distorted, only vaguely humanoid.
You should have fought.
Yeah, before they quickly ascended again back to actual reality, and then she basically charged out of the room to her mother when she heard her calling out to her, basically crying and screaming, which is unusual for Jules. So, yeah, she had distrusted the church before, and now it's concrete. Mom, I'm never coming back again. You can't make me.
Yep.
That's pretty much where we're at with Jules. She just kind of went home after that and just kind of locked herself in her room, more than likely. Just, nope. Oh, that my wire. That's pretty much all that happened on Jules, and then we had Skater Boy and possibly Mafia and Russian Boy.
So I am not in the mafia. My father is in some sort of diplomatic role.
Mafia.
Question
to be them.
practices.
But I was staying at Russell's house because I can't stand to be home when he has his associates around. It didn't work. One of his associates showed up at Russell's house and needed to collect a couple of at least one children, as he put it, for a job from my father. My father had thought me worthy of some task, which would be a first, and but it turned out that the mission was that Ivan would meet with some associate at a playground, and he felt he needed a children or two, as he put it, to not get thrown out by the moms. And my father had suggested me as I would play on the swings. which is about the way that about perfect for my father. So we were brought there. Russell came with us, and when we got there, we were disturbed to see that the Yvonne was meeting was one of the messieurs, one of the three identical triplets who run the Warped Ox Engineering company in town. An emaciated old man who might have known who we are or that we'd been poking around, and told us a disturbing and threatening, although not very coherent, story about what it's like from a wasp's point of view when a wasp nest is vacuumed up by an exterminator, and the wasps see all of their brothers and sisters disappearing into what appears to them to be a black hole from which no wasp escapes, and the children are taken last. So it was definitely weird. It was definitely creepy. It was make a lot of sense, and I think we were taken home after that. And
Correct. We went right back to my house.
We were both pretty shaken, and I had suggested we call the rest of the group because things have gone from surreal to completely out of control.
Right. Okay.
And we weren't really as anonymous or unnoticed as we had maybe imagined.
Yes, he seemed to have some idea of who you were, at least in some sense. As you said, he wasn't especially coherent. And so, we closed last time with Steve, with Sarah Sparrow and her aunt Debbie going to the school to meet with the guidance counselor because she wanted to find out what was going on with the strange, the friend of Mr. Harris, your computer teacher, Mr. Anderson Kilter, who seemed to be behaving strangely, and who you had.
He was off kilter?
Yes, he was off kilter. He was off kilter. He was really kind of creepy. And my aunt had the brilliant... Oh yeah, and we found that the office of the person who had any information about the teacher or something was just completely barren. Just stripped. Including carpet, which is very odd. And of course, my Sarah's aunt provides the wonderful insight of just something's really weird here. Something's real bad, and Sarah's just like,
No shit, Sherlock!
Oh, you think? What tipped you off?
No shit, Sherlock, it's not coming to you!
Got very, very sassy with her aunt. Which I'm very sad we lost that bit.
The aunt did think you were on some kind of hallucinogenic at first.
Yeah, she did think I was
Which
on some kind of
honestly, at this point, Sarah probably would have preferred that over what the hell she experienced.
Are you sure we weren't just high?
Probably.
That was actually that was your aunt's suspicion.
Yeah, was that we were very, very high. But as we all know, this is the 90s, when every kid was told, don't do drugs.
Yes, there was definitely a lot of just say no.
It was so hammered home, it was ridiculous. Because we were coming off the 80s, oh boy.
Pass the dope, man.
Anyway.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and when you got to the school, you actually ran into Mr. Anderson, right?
Yes.
On the way out, and the school guidance counselor's office was stripped bare to the cement walls.
Yep.
Which didn't go well for Saturday night. It is Sunday. Aunt Debbie is in the hospital. She had some kind of panic attack or worse, you're not sure, but They called ambulances. Your mother came out, Sarah, and she was taken away to the central hospital several miles away in another town.
Oh.
She was panicked by what she saw. Apparently, you know, whatever she decided, whatever she thought was going on, was
enough to cause a medical emergency.
Yes, it was enough to get them called, and so it is Sunday morning, or I guess Sunday afternoon actually, and Jules, your mother wants to know what happened. She assumes that you were, like, they tried to grab you, or someone tried to assault you, or
where did they touch you?
Well, she doesn't say that, and also there wasn't a lot of time, right? I mean, you barely got in. There was a few minutes of conversation, moments of conversation, and then and then then Sarah comes running out screaming. So
Jules comes running out screaming. Yeah.
Jules comes running out screaming. Yes. So you have to tell your mother something, and for a while you're not really coherent. You're having a really hard time. You can't tell her that you saw a monster. But you definitely think that the woman, one of the prophets of the church, maybe somebody high up in the church, was monstrous. And you can tell me how you want to play it, but if you're just really shaken and slightly hysterical, she comes to the conclusion that they maybe tried to grab you, maybe there was a misunderstanding, but if you can assure her you're not actually hurt, then you get home, and I'm going to rule, unless you guys decide otherwise, that at this point you guys have all contacted each other. So
because I'm saying now, Jules, basically her first action when she gets her mom to kind of not really get off her case, but to just kind of get her to stop like actively freaking out. Her first call is fucking Sarah, just like, oh my fucking god. Like, I'd assume that because this is Jules here, so the fact that she's shaken in the first place probably freaks out her mother enough, because Jules doesn't get shaken very easily in general. So she probably, while she's like, incoherently kind of babbling, trying to go through it all in her head, she probably would mention, like, Taylor, what's her name? That lured her off, basically?
Yeah, Taylor Wisdom.
Yeah, basically say that Taylor got her off somewhere, took her to some building, there were a couple boys there, and then after that she kind of would go rambling off just like, Okay,
well, she the fact that it's the other high school girl, does seem to mollify her worst, whatever was in her head, somewhat. And when you get back, where is the disc?
If I had to think, Jules probably would have hidden it somewhere in her room.
Yeah, okay. Well, your dad has been home, so I'm assuming. So, nothing has happened. You get in there and you find the disc, and at this point, you probably should call everybody else, or everybody calls everybody else.
Yeah, again, basically her first contact is Sarah. She just, she changes out of the dress into actual street clothes. She grabs a disc, tucks it into one of her pockets just to make sure it's out of sight. Then she's pretty much clamoring to the phone.
Sarah, you've gotten back. It's Sunday. Aunt Debbie is still in the hospital, but and you guys are back home now. It doesn't look like it's terminal, although whatever happened is serious. It's more she's being held there for observation and seems to still be rattled, like having a hard time having a hard time holding it together. So
Is she conscious?
she's aware, but she's periodically hyperventilating. They're running tests, and the one thing she told you was, you should get out. You should get out. You and the family should get out. But you don't know that was anything more than a panic reaction. I mean, it doesn't look like she's dealing with this very well.
Yeah, I mean, on top of that, that just makes Sarah be like, no, I gotta find out what's going on here, because
yeah. Well, she notably doesn't say that.
For her own good.
There you go. And she notably doesn't say that to your mother. She won't really talk to her sister too much about it. Just saying, that she just doesn't feel good. She doesn't feel good at all.
Right.
And she's very concerned that she's taken to a serious hospital, meaning one further away from here. So, whose house do you gather at?
Probably Sarah's, considering Jules would
Yeah.
probably call her first, and she's like, call the boys, we're meeting at your house, we are in serious trouble, I mean it. And even Sarah would be off put, by the sheer panic in Jules' voice. Like, she's probably never heard Jules panic ever, so this is a first.
Well, in response, you're hearing her just be like, "No shit, Sherlock. My aunt's in the hospital because of this."
Bitch, you've not seen what I've seen. Just call the boys. I'm going to be there next hour. I'm going to be there next hour. Contact the boys. Bye. Click.
Screaming at each other.
I was about to interject for a second there. There's a third line that enters the call, and
How? How? In the days of landlines, please explain how.
yeah, that's right. That wouldn't work. That wouldn't work. That's disappointing though. It would be funny though. Just a fairly composed Russell comes on. Hey girl, something happened earlier yesterday. No shit.
Just screaming at him in unison.
Yeah, Sarah's would basically be the focal point, because Jules will call her, tell her to call the boys to gather at her house, because the boys are already together, so makes it easy.
Okay. And so you guys arrive. There is a couple of things. Speaking as the game master, you do not absolutely have to act. Things will continue to happen. There's not like a single right thing that I'm hoping that you guys do. Since we haven't played together, I just wanted to explain this. It's not this is not a puzzle problem solving event where you have to, you have all the clues, and if you don't put them together in the right way, it won't work. This is, you can do whatever you want, or you could sit around in panic and decide to do nothing, and either way, things will happen. So that's, I guess that's really basically what I wanted to say. Certainly, there is a time limit here, and the clock is ticking, so you're eventually going to need to do something. But
so we saw that there was a time in the future when everything was on fire.
yes,
That's a time limit. Was a week, I think.
It's about it's about 5 days in the future now.
All right.
And furthermore, you have some idea of what happened. And Abomination, one of these deep creatures, the giant red glowing whale, found a viable host. Has found or will find a viable host.
And decided to come up and fuck shit up.
Yes, and when it flowers in the world above, very bad things happen.
So, and what? So, is it possible that the cult was asking for the disc? I'm asking. I'm just trying to. They wanted the disc for. they didn't care about us.
It wasn't clear why they wanted this. They just wanted to get it from Jules for some reason. And she tried to get a reason out of them, but they just wouldn't give it.
They wouldn't give it. Okay.
So it's something like, okay, are you guys going to stop whatever's going on? Nope, then I ain't giving it to you. Fuck y'all.
Well, so yeah, right. We don't know what would be like a right host or anything. I feel like we need to hack into Ox.
And figure it out.
Not because we have to prove ourselves to any hacker kids who it looks like are all being vacuumed up by Shark Face guy.
So there's two. So basically, Sarah's like, okay, let's go over the facts, what we know.
Yes.
We know there's some that Ox has got some real creepy shit going on with it. Right?
It seems to be the source of all of this, yes.
We've each encountered someone that seems to be involved in Ox, and they've always been the creepy people in this situation, right?
I wouldn't say involved.
We're starting with the basics.
Yeah. I mean, all the Ox people we've seen are creepy. That is for sure.
They are all creepy. They all seem to have something that they're trying to hide. They're all seem to want that disc for some reason.
Well, they did throw it away, so
they did.
They threw it away in order for it to be intercepted by somebody else.
It seems to have not been on purpose, or something like that. We weren't supposed to get it, is the point. So now let's go. Now let's think as well. They all seem to be connected with that other world, right? Jules,
shit.
Jules, you found your way back into the other world when you encountered those guys, right?
Yeah, basically, while frickin' Barch Demon, whatever the fuck she was coming down the hall, I noticed that we were descending, and I didn't realize we had truly descended until I literally looked down and saw I had my little, knife thingies. Okay. So I knew at that point that, fuck, we're back. How the fuck we get back here?
So, they're somehow tied to it. The last time we used the disc, which came from them, the first time we went down there is because we used the disc that came from them. There's something. So, I think the only way that we're gonna figure out what's going on and stop whatever they're trying to do, because they're trying to do something bad, obviously.
Please don't say it. Please don't say it.
And all has to do with that other world.
Fuck.
We're gonna have to go back in there. We're gonna have to find a way back down. Everything ties back to there, and I think that's where all the answers are going to be.
Is it bad that I want to say fuck it? I don't want to go back in that world. When a birch lady comes back for me, I don't want to do that. I don't.
Well, the only other avenue that we have is my aunt, but she's in the hospital far away from here, and is not very talkative about things. I think she knows something, but at the same time, I don't want to endanger her life.
Well,
fuck her life opposite fucking danger from freaking underworld Shamu.
Hey, so but here's the thing. Here's the other thing we know. We are better down there. We are smarter, faster, stronger. We have special powers down there. If we're gonna find answers, it needs to be down there, and we need to find ways to become better down there. How we're going to beat these guys is through that world.
And it also might be better to stick together, Jules. We don't want.
Yeah, at this point, no, I ain't going anywhere without any of y'all bitches. No, never again, never again. And especially, and I hope you guys support me with this. Fuck those fucking church people.
That's another thing. Let's go over who we know is all involved with this.
They got fucking church. How about that?
Church people are involved. They seem to be the ones who are supposed to get the disc. Who, Mr. What was the guy's name? Who was at the school?
Well,
Anderson Kilter. Mr. Kilter.
Mr. Kilter. He seems to have something going on with him. I've got a weird suspicion that something from the other side is affecting him. If we can find him in the other side, we might be able to do something about that. Number 3. Who were the guys that you said that you encountered, Russell? And Vasily?
We encountered one of the messieurs from Ox, and it sounds like my father and his associates have with them, which is absolutely not good.
They're definitely involved.
The man was a lot
Wait a minute.
stronger than who we were with. Your uncle, right?
The man, my uncle.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Mr. Foyt.
Didn't you guys say that you saw the other kids who challenged us to the hacking thing?
They were being hunted by Kilter,
The
right?
man with a
Yes.
smile.
They were being
Yes.
hunted by Kilter. They're involved with this somehow too now. I think
They were looking for one of their own.
if they're looking for one of their own, then he might have gotten dragged down into the other world too.
I bet Kilter got one of them. I bet he just murdered one of them.
I think we need to go. I think we might need to track them down and see what they know, and then maybe we should see about diving back in. I'm suspicious that location may matter when we go down into the other world.
So, the only way we know to get there, the disk on a computer with a zip drive, and the only place I know of with the zip drive is at the school. So, but before we go back to the school on a weekend.
You don't have a zip drive, Vasily?
I didn't know that any of us did.
None of you do. Zip drives are new.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So, one possibility, and I only say this so we consider all options, in terms of people who probably know what's going on and are least likely to be armed and dangerous. One of the kids from the church by themselves and convince them to tell us what they know. That might give us some idea of whether or not in the future the abomination comes in through the church or through someone at Ox or through somebody else trying to raise their idol, cleansing the abomination. That would be good to know. That would be good to know. But
Russell pats Jules' shoulder.
I imagine this would be cornering one of them by themselves and then being very convincing. Don't know if we're up for that.
No, I don't think we are. Maybe Sarah, but otherwise. Jules, do you need a hug?
I need more than a hug. I need to bash some fucking heads in, because god fucking damn it. Maybe a gun would make me feel safer. Well, you didn't see what the fuck I saw.
I didn't say that. Just thinking you with a gun seems a little odd. You usually like knives better.
I ain't gonna go after that bitch with a knife. Fuck that shit.
Alright. Let's get going. We know what we gotta do. Now,
Into the abyss.
Fuck.
We're going back to the school. Okay.
You may have to wait until Monday because there's the school is actually closed on Sunday. You were able to get in on Saturday because there's events and stuff going on there, but
could we open a window?
The school's pretty hard to break into. I mean, you could break a window.
Does anyone have lockpick skill or anything?
No.
Not yet.
Not yet.
I think we probably need that to break in.
Yeah.
Pretty much, but even then, I think it's pretty high scale security. So
Aye.
and I say for now, because after what happened with the church kids, I don't want that drive in my house anymore. No.
You don't want them to do what?
I don't want that drive in my house anymore after what the fuck happened at the wedding.
Oh, you mean the
Fuck
disc?
that. Yeah.
So
Why don't
One-
we do this?
Hmm.
Why don't we get 4 envelopes, heavy envelopes? We put the disc in one of them. We each take the envelope and hide it. Knows who has the disc or where it is in case somebody interrogated.
doesn't that just paint a target on everyone's?
Well, you won't know if you've got the disc.
Russell deadpans as he says this out loud. Why did I say that?
We know that the church wants it very badly, the cult, and we know that they're going to try again. They're not going to give up just because they got their asses kicked. They'll try harder and be more.
For security, right?
Yes.
So, how about we roll a d4, and we all pick a number between us, and whatever number lands on is the person who takes it, who has the drive.
Okay.
That sound good? If we're going with this plan?
Sure.
Okay. Eric is 4.
I'll take 3.
1.
Steve 3. All right, I guess I'm 2. All right. Eric has it.
Vasily takes the disc. I don't like the my father is involved with this. Whatever. I'll find. I have plenty of good places to hide it.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's probably safest with you because your father probably has so many hidey holes in the house. You
Well,
literally stick it anywhere, nobody will be able to find it.
I worry that he might know what it is, and yeah, but let's hope not. So I'll secure it somewhere in my jacket and inside the lining, and until I can find a better hiding place. So are we going to do anything Monday, or are we going to wait until Sunday, or are we going to wait until Monday and then try and get back into?
I mean, I guess let's go see Sarah's aunt. That's pretty much the only thing I can think of that we can do on Sunday.
It doesn't involve capturing and interrogating a cultist or hacking into a.
Yeah, no, fuck that church. Jules ain't going near that church for a while.
Oh, we would.
Long while.
We would isolate one of them and get them in their house, but I don't think we're up for that. We could try hacking.
No, fuck no. Fuck no.
Okay. All right, let's go to the hospital.
Pat.
The hospital. So you have to get a ride, but you're at Sarah's house, so you can do that. It is your mother just got back from there and is basically packing in case she has to stay the night, or whatever. She'll spend more time over there, so she's been gathering stuff. And you're almost out the door when the phone rings.
Oh.
And your mother, Sarah, says, "Is Vasily still here?"
Oh no.
No, he just left.
Can we get away with that?
Not if you're going to go in the car with her to back to the hospital.
Oof.
Yes, I'm still here.
And she says, well, apparently somebody's been calling around from your house looking for you. The person on the phone is actually Russell's mother.
Oh. Oh, fuck.
But,
Whoops, we didn't check in. Russell just kind of sighs himself.
Just give me a second. Let me find out what this is all about. I'll call.
well, apparently your father called, or somebody from your house, probably your mother, called Russell's mother, and then Russell's mother called around.
So I'll call my house and talk to my mother and ask what's going on.
Your father picks up.
Yeah.
He says, hello?
I'm out with friends. Is there a problem?
Vasily. Where is Ivan?
Where is Ivan?
Didn't
What
he
happened?
return?
He dropped us off hours ago. I'm with my friends.
And he swears in Russian. And he says, what happened?
Oh, we saw the we went to the playground. There was a man in a hat. I show off a little bit. I say I think he worked for Ox Engineering, and he spoke with Ivan, and then Ivan took us back.
He says, well, he went back to the hotel. He swears again in Russian and hangs up.
I put the phone back in the cradle and I come back. So it looks like Ivan never made it home. Or made it anywhere else.
Hmm.
People are disappearing. They're being snapped up one after another. You're,
I'm not sure we want to do this.
Russell looks at Jules, just kind of worried that his friend he's known for so long, who's always been headstrong, is downright terrified. There's just a look of great concern.
whatever happened, it was impressive. Let's go talk to Aunt and see if Aunt is able to clarify anything. Have to go on the offensive.
The hospital is long. It's a good long ways away. Not super long, but it takes you about, I don't know, 45 minutes of driving to get out there, a couple of towns over, and then you wait to get in there. And when you get in, she's wearing an oxygen mask. She's all hooked up with sensors and stuff like that. And
Oh,
what?
oh, just serious.
And the nurse says she's sedated.
Ooh.
Where they're bringing in as she tells us to Sarah, to your mother, but that they're bringing in a psychiatrist to help with the workup. There seems to be they don't know exactly what's going on. The test, they're waiting for some test to come back, but so far it's been inconclusive.
Sarah's just peering suspiciously.
Yeah, she when you come in there, the nurse, says you guys only have about 20 minutes. And when you guys get in there, she's groggy. But she looks at you guys, looks at your mother, Sarah. And she says, "Can I talk to Sarah for a second?" Your mother nods and steps out.
Okay.
She thinks it's a little weird, but it's not exceptionally weird. And in fact, she kind of gestures for the rest of you guys to stay.
Yeah.
And she says, "I'm sorry. I never felt anything like that. She's just powerful and alien. So strange. So strange. Whatever it is, I don't know if you're going to be able to. I mean, I don't think words will work on it. I don't know what it is.
Well, that's reassuring.
This has Sarah simultaneously extremely freaked out, but also just now more determined than ever to find out what the fuck this is.
And what she's talking about is the guy who with all the weird teeth.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
She
Okay.
says he is possessed.
Okay.
And it can't be good.
So Sarah's just gonna be like, Auntie, there is, I've like checked and rechecked with my friends here. There is that other world that we said it can't have been just some sort of mass hallucination between all of us, because
yeah, you don't think she's buying the mass hallucination thing anymore. She just she nods.
Jules experienced it again, except on her own this time. Like free of the rest of us, it had the same sort of weird things happening with her, like the changes. Except she also encountered people who knew about the disc that I showed you, if you remember, with the symbol on it, the Key of Solomon.
She nods, tiredly, and she says, "Maybe you should just go as far as you can."
We can't exactly run from these things.
Sarah's just like, no, we can't go now, Auntie. There's something going on, and we need to stop it. We need to find out what's happening. I need to know what is happening, and we need whatever it is. It's bad, and I think we're the only ones who can do anything about it. We're the only ones who know.
And she says, if you see him again, it might trigger it.
Okay.
I think it could.
So,
whatever it was.
Considering fucking Birch Lady triggered whatever the fuck happened at the church.
Well, there's something else to think of too. He's possessed. Was for the abomination. He will turn into a giant fireball that burns up everything. Why don't we cure and maybe confront? If he's already possessed, he's got to be stopped.
It seems like if he's possessed, then maybe we can get at the possessor from that other world, because there's no indication from this side, but there seems to be some spiritual aspect to that other place.
If it triggers us to go to the other world, they're with him.
I've got this weird feeling that we might have to get down there before we find him again, because the first time we went down there, we found things that made us better down there. And I think if we found more of that, we could potentially we might stand a chance against him, because he's something that I don't think we can tango with right now.
We can certainly get stronger.
What the fuck is this going to you, Sarah? Some kind of supernatural adventure TV show?
This is what I've been looking for all my life, Jules. This is the thing that doesn't make any sense. This is the thing that I get to discover. that I get to make sense of, that I get to be the first one to know about.
If you fucking survive!
Does it matter?
Someone's to it.
If we don't survive, it's not like we were gonna survive anyway if we hadn't tried.
Very well. Let's then I I won't say I'm convinced, but why don't we I'm willing to give it a try.
Wait.
Whatever, at this point, we might as well be in our own version of the fucking X-Files at this point.
So Sarah's just like, wait, I have a weird idea.
Hmm?
Do you think there might be a zip drive and a computer in this hospital somewhere?
Where?
This hospital.
You think the IT stuff in the hospital is probably like 5 years old?
Oh,
So-
even older than.
Very much.
Well,
That's
the,
how
one, the,
hospitals
stuff, the
work.
stuff in the computer lab is pretty old too, but there's that one new,
There's that one new thing.
yeah,
Hmm.
that Harris got. So
We could we could call Harris and see if he's got one at his house.
Isn't that where that guy was, though?
That guy did, yes, he lives there, but if he's turning into a giant fire whale, maybe he's running around eating computer hacker kids.
He might be.
That is true.
We might stand a
Stepped out
chance.
for a bite.
Yeah, let's see if we can get in touch with Dr. Harris. If we can't, then we should go over there anyway, just in case, just to see if he's there and or okay. And if not, and if nobody's there, maybe we just break in. Jules, that's not out of character for Jules, right?
No.
I feel like you two are steadily changing places. Russell.
This is what happens when Sarah gets curious about something. She will do bad things to make sure she knows.
Whatever we're going to do, I'll be outside whenever you guys decide. Russell
Right.
walks out of the room.
Let's get over to Dr. Harris's. I think that's the first step.
Alright.
I think that's the next step, I should say. This was
Someone
the
needs-
first step.
Someone needs to make sure you guys don't hurt each other. Hurt yourselves.
Let's just hope that. So I'm gonna say goodbye to Auntie and just say, please don't let anyone do anything to you.
she's already drifting,
Okay.
and yeah. So you guys decide to go back to. So Harris doesn't actually live at Anderson's house, although he's obviously spends a lot of time there. He actually has a small apartment that's closer to the school and less and less nice. But you don't exactly know where that is. So
The best bet.
well, you know, he might. It seems like he was pretty much since he got fired. He's probably doesn't have a. You know, he's probably spending more time at Anderson's house if, in fact, he's still alive. So, you know, you guys could try to locate his actual house, or go to Anderson's house and see if he's there. Drive by it. You know.
Yeah, let's go either of those places.
Yeah, you actually wind up having to bike, and it's a pretty long bike ride,
Just to the limit.
but you're able to do it. You know, you kind of get there a little bit after dark, and or yeah, I guess in fading light.
This is Anderson's house, right?
I'm assuming.
Yeah. Okay. So risky, but yes, let's go see Mr. Smiles.
Hmm.
Uh,
I don't think that's a good idea.
Well, what other freaking choice do we got, Russell? Because, trust me, I don't want to do this any more than you do, but...
Just seeing the one guy the first time. Ellie, man.
You guys, yeah, well, you guys can see the house the lights are on. And there's Mr. Harris's car in the driveway, but you don't see the red Spider convertible.
Okay, he's out here.
He is out for Mike. Let's talk to Mr. Harris.
Let's knock.
You knock on the door, and Mr. Harris, after a little bit, does open it. And he looks back at you guys, and he says,
Well, things have progressed.
Things have got bad, Mr. Harris, and it's time that you start explaining things. And we might need to use your computer.
You need a zip drive.
Well,
In fact, we will
premises.
definitely have to use your computer. That is not a question here.
It's a lot to explain.
Says, okay.
We are pretty sure we know what's going on with your guy.
Friend? Boyfriend?
Yeah. Friend?
The preferred term is
more than-
partner, he says.
Sure. whatever you want to call it.
He's not well, and he may be dangerous.
Hi.
I mean, we figured that much.
He nods.
I want him to know we know.
We may have a way of dealing with him, but we need to.
Furthermore,
and we need to not be near. And we need to not be around him for a while.
He says, do you know he has several rows of teeth now?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Really, I imagine at the moment he says that, Jules literally jumps up octaves.
So yeah,
Russell,
we need access to your. We need access to your computer and your zip drive, and we need to not be near him for I don't know how long. But when the time comes, we need to be able to find him as well.
Mr. Harris, he's going to come back sometime, possibly after eating someone. It's not necessarily his fault. There's something connected to him. Dangerous, I would expect. And if he sees all of our bicycles there, it will be a problem. Can we...
Let's hide them. You shall hide the bikes.
Yes, why don't you hide them?
We can hide the bicycles. We'll park them, nearby. But do you have?
Are there any bushes, like big bushes nearby we can hide them in?
Yeah. There's the front of the house is a little bit overgrown. You can put them around side. If he goes over there, he'll see them, but hopefully he won't. You can put them a little bit further away. It's not really difficult to hide the bikes.
Sounds good.
I mean, either hide them in the overgrowth or hide them at the back door.
Yeah.
They're just, pew, we're done.
He says, do you know what he's infected with?
Well, it's not really infected, but...
Something from another place. It's hard to explain. I'm not going to try. I'm still trying to figure out what's going on, and I'm doing...
The short answer is no, but if it's what we think it might be, it's incredibly dangerous to everyone.
It's...
Literally everyone.
It's...
He nods at that, and he says... I wish they hadn't upset him.
It's more than upsetting him.
And he holds his hands up and
The other kids?
No. Whoever it was with the tape.
Tape?
Oh.
The video of us.
Yes, well... I imagine that whoever they are, they're paying for it. So,
yeah.
He nods warily. He says that's when he pulled his teeth out.
So that's what
That's still very uncomfortable to hear. Please.
Is there do you have a zip drive at your house, Mr. Harris?
He does have a zip drive at his house. He says yes, I do, and he goes into the bedroom, which is thankfully all nice and made, and and there's a computer, a pretty nice computer, on a table with a chair there, and some stuff, a mouse and big stacks of CDs and things like that. And he says, "Why do you need a zip drive for?"
We'll see.
It's better if you don't know. It's better if you don't know.
Let's go to your house. I'll fill you in once we. If I told you now, although you've already seen some pretty impossible things.
Well,
Basically,
trust me, it's gonna get more impossible. I don't think we can explain around it.
Well,
I didn't want to scare him away, but let's get in his car. The four of us will get in his car. With the zip drive, we'll go to his house.
Isn't the computer already at this house?
Okay, well then we can try it here, but Tooth Man might come home.
And Tube Man's a threat anyway, so.
couldn't we take the attachment zip drive with us?
He says if he comes home and I'm not here, he'll go to my house.
Okay, let's just do this quickly.
Yeah,
So-
let's do it right here.
Let's go.
So we're going to go. I'll take the drive out of my my coat, put it in, and I'm going to explain to him quickly that the last time we tried this at the school, we
Things went to hell. Literally.
And we saw the future.
literally went to another world. About 8 days in the future, now about 5. One, we stopped by the school and everything was totally destroyed and on fire, and so did the area around it. Think of it like a nuclear explosion, aftermath thereof. And then we went further into a strange universe where we encountered all sorts of strange things, including the creatures that seems to have caused the damage. You're alive. You were in some sort of
Box.
In
and
some kind of box.
Hmm.
He holds up a hand and he says, "Wait, I get it. There's a nuclear bomb or an alien attack, and there was. I got it. I need something. Wait, just wait a second." He goes out of the room. You hear him rummaging in shelves, and then he comes back. He has a bottle of vodka.
That honestly is a safe bet. And I wouldn't say a nuke or an alien invasion. It's something that it wouldn't seem threatening initially until you've actually seen the fucking thing.
Okay.
we turned on the.
Or like a giant space whale, like from Star Trek.
We are
A giant demon Shamu, pretty much.
We are a tiny, tiny piece of krill that is about to be sucked up by a Shamu.
A space Shamu! A space demon Shamu!
Russell,
We're going to put the. We're going to. Without the more we talk about this, the less believable it gets. So, we're going to put the. We're going
He
to.
nods at that and he says, "Don't tell this to anybody else."
got it.
Don't worry.
We're
Don't
already
worry,
crazy enough.
the only person we told had a panic attack.
Yeah.
And now is in the hospital. And is
Yeah, and
related
actually,
to
as
it.
Vasily goes to put the thing in the zip drive, she kind of approaches the teacher. She's like, "Look, I know this ain't going to be a big thing, but can I just look at that, please? I've literally seen some shit.
Also,
I just need to relax."
prepare yourself because we're gonna look probably.
He looks dimly at you because you're under age, and then
Thank you.
Jules,
Move it
no.
back.
So
yeah. Oh my God.
Okay, I'm better
It
now,
is
thank you.
harsh.
it tastes
Yeah.
it tastes like motor oil.
Yeah, she kind of chokes it down. Thank you.
You put it in there, and there's all of those weird folders. And he just kind of stares at it nonplussed because, it's a zip drive and there's folders, and then everything shakes.
I think
Oh,
it
here we go. We're descending. Ah, fuck.
Red time.
Here we go.
Boom. And
Russell takes it.
he says, "What the fuck?" And
That was
you
the
see-
descent.
You see lights. There's lights outside. There's street lights and things like that. Lights from other houses, and they rocket upwards as though the house itself is going down. And it's enough. There's not a lot of shaking. It's not quite like an earthquake, but there's enough vibration that things rattle. And he grips the bottle tightly, looking around, and then, boom. It comes to a halt, and you see that the house itself is the roof is torn off. The house is burned, Everything in it is in shambles, and you can see out through the front yard. You can see hulks of cars, and there is something in the distance. Everything is black. You can't see any stars overhead. There's fires burning all over the place, and you can see these green spotlights sweeping the sky, really super bright. These really bright beams coming up from somewhere outside of town, sweeping over this ash-laden night sky. And there's like a hill there, a hill of something glowing green. You can't quite make it out from here. And you could see, these dim mushroom-like lights of fires in the distance. Not exactly mushroom clouds, but things are burning, and it's reflecting off the low, charred overhead. And you don't move. The screen on the time, there's a time clock. One of them is the date 8 days in the future, now 5. And the other one is a countdown. 3 hours.
Oh boy.
3 hours. What the fuck does that mean? This didn't happen the first time.
Well,
I tell him, any moment we're going to go to someplace much more survivable. So just wait. Just hold on.
Yeah, Sarah's gonna say whatever's in 3 hours. We don't want to be here when that time is up. So let's try to make this fast.
Click one of the files. That's what
the computer right? The computer doesn't work. It's just showing you can't get anything out of it other than the clock.
What the fuck?
I think in 3 hours we'll go to green time.
Have we all changed?
Oh,
yes, you guys are all changed. Yeah, he sees that, and he staggers backwards onto what's left of the bed and falls over barely.
How does everybody look?
So Sarah's just like who's the most normal looking one. Let's face it. Is like okay,
no.
No. Yeah, I was about to say Russell's the most normal looking.
Well, I'm also the best at talking, so.
Well, yeah. Russell has like a halo. Of light. Sarah has a gigantic head.
Literally.
Sarah has claws, teeth.
I know. Jules has
claws and teeth.
Jules has the claws, the split mouth, pretty much Pac-Man, but more demonic, and the ram horns.
Well, actually, there's a term for the creature that you're emulating, and it's a Japanese ghost monster thing.
Oh dear.
The yokai.
Split mouth woman.
You basically look like Melina from Mortal Kombat.
I'm the split mouth woman. Chomp.
So we have a demon. What can pass as an angel? What I describe as Frankenstein's bride with Sarah, and Vasily looks like.
Vasily is wearing really cool clothes. He's got a really nice, really stylish jacket, which is a power raiment, and he's got also really like top end sunglasses, so that's all great. The top 1995. I'll do some research. Style shoes and jeans and all that, but his face has a bird's beak underneath the glasses, and he's got a lion's mane. Has antlers that are crackling with electricity.
My God, I am really...
You look like something out of a cartoon, Vasily. But again, I look like something out of a Bible.
Also, you notice that Sarah's noticeably smaller.
How small? Like midget small or like Tinkerbell small?
Like, small size small.
We're like, if we're middle schoolers, you're like an elementary schooler, essentially.
Well, we're actually high schoolers, so...
Oh, well, elementary school.
Yeah.
Like, little.
Yeah. But okay. She's still proportional. Like, it's not like midget sort of thing. It's just proportional.
Oh, yeah, Alice in Wonderland syndrome.
Yeah, literally just shrunk.
You're smaller than usual. What the fuck?
And what did you say to me, Haley? I didn't hear you.
No, I was talking to Bastley. He looks like something out of a cartoon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Russell just looks up. Oh, my halo's back.
Well, he's you know, like, Harris is absolutely flabbergasted, and then he says, "Get down,"
Yeah.
and he
Get down.
Jules drops to the floor.
Russell ducks.
I'm going to get the disc.
you can pop the disc out. There is
Crouching
something.
underneath the desk and reaching up and pulling the disc out and sticking it back in my.
Can you even pull it out at this point?
There is something walking. It is maybe 50, 60 stories tall.
What the
Oh.
You can see two legs. They're human only in the basic shape. It's bipedal. As it is striding through the darkness, going up and then lost in the dark overhang of cloud cover, and you can feel these absolutely terrifying vibrations. Its feet seem to sink down into the ground, as it walks. Yeah, and there's there's this crackling, crunching sound that is somehow big. These aren't leaves crackling. These are cement blocks or walls or small buildings. It's thankfully not that close to you, but you can see that coming down from the cloud layer overhead are these green searchlights that are having a hard time penetrating. So in one place there's these searchlights scanning the sky. In another case there's this whatever this thing is that seems to be scanning the ground, although it's having a hard time through the cloud cover. But you can see these spotlights cut through the ash-filled air and the smell of smoke and sweep across things, and this thumb, 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 and Mr. Harris makes this sort of soft, high-pitched noise as this thing goes by.
So Sarah's just gonna sort of like clamber up on him and just like put her both her tiny hands over his mouth, like.
He stares, you know, eyes huge and watery, and then he reaches up and pushes your hands away and takes a drink.
So can I
That's an appropriate
try
response.
diplomacy to try to calm him down?
Well, I mean, he hasn't lost it.
Well,
It is
still,
lost,
try to
he's
bring him
trying to
down, like,
shake
look,
it.
Yeah. Go ahead and make a roll.
just try to bring him down to look. It's okay. Everything's fine. I know I look weird.
Your brain is picking out. But
Yeah, as I say. Meanwhile, Jules is just like, "That's an appropriate response. That's a very appropriate response."
you know,
Because
maybe
that's a
I
9.
should
That's
go
3
over
below
there.
my 12.
Actually, that's 7. Or no, that is a 9. Sorry.
That's
It's
3 below my
been a
12.
while.
3 below my 12.
Russell looks on, thinking, maybe I should do it.
Okay, so did you make your roll?
I did. I got a 9 against my 12.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So you speak in a slow, calming voice. And,
Very tiny.
you know,
tiny
we're
voice.
not. Yeah, we're not gonna be here. We're not gonna be here very much longer. All we have to do is just, sit tight. It's kind of like a dream. It's kind of like a dream.
Survive.
Look,
Just
Don't
survive.
worry. I know we look weird. We'll explain in a second. Just try to keep calm. So
Yeah.
nothing
Well, you don't
mixes
look.
up.
You don't look. I mean, the beak is disturbing, and the claws and teeth and horns is really disturbing. But
Russell's over here. Hi, I'm normal.
I mean, I'm probably one of me and Russell are less disturbing, but my son's size change is probably also very weird.
yeah. Well, it's definitely strange. And he is looking around. It's gone now. This thing has moved away. It's somewhere else. Maybe not at the speed that it could move, super duper far, but
Can't fight that
but
thing.
it's no longer,
Mm-mm.
right there. And he says, "We must be like ants to it." You hear this coughing, choking sound of an engine coming.
Uh-oh.
And yeah, you could see, because a lot of the buildings have been leveled here. You can see out on the street, and you can see it's a like a truck, a flatbed truck. Although the back of the flatbed has some rails around it, either they look hastily and shoddily built, and you can see that there's people shackled in the back.
Hell?
And yeah, it's moving through there, and it stops a bit of a distance away, and you can see these things kind of slurp down from the cab. They look like slugs. They are slightly yellowish green, luminous. They're human-sized, albeit a bit small human-sized. They have eyes on stalks. They are wearing jackets, and they have little slug arms. Exactly how that works is unclear. They have helmets, yeah, and muskets. Their arms are kind of like flippers. You have a feeling you know these guys. It's hard to say how, but there's a sense of familiarity as they exit, leaving these faintly luminous trails of slime. And one of them says in a high-pitched voice, "Spread out. We gotta hit everything. They need us back." And the other slime thing kind of grumbles, and then splits into two of itself.
Jules just kind of watched, and she's just like, "Is it me, or does anybody else recognize those sludge things?" It feels like you've seen it before, but
it's a weird deja vu.
yeah, very weird.
And you know them from school.
What?
So
they're in the prayer circle.
Oh,
And
oh fuck!
and one of them.
Oh fuck no!
You guys get 4. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna give you 4 character points.
character points.
Yes.
How do
Explain?
we spend those? Oh wait, that's right. We spend them on the site. That's what it is.
You want to spend them on combat skills.
Yeah.
Battlefields, hell yeah.
Can we have the link for the thing again?
Yeah, and your guys' stats go up to.
I pinned it. Is it the jagsrpghost.com, the workbench thing?
Yes.
Yeah, it's pinned.
And you guys also your stats are all at least 10. So you're down here, your strength is 10.
Hey, what would my chill power be tied to? Because that's probably what I'm gonna end up using. A lot.
Coordination. You would buy that as firearms. I'm gonna have to go. So.
Okay, while we deal with this,
we'll buy the kids later with our 4 points.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, guys. I'll talk to you later.
Oh, are we done, or are we?
I have to go. So.
Oh.
I'm going to leave the call. You guys can talk. Eric can explain it. All right.
Okay. Cool.
Okay. Bye.
All right. Good night.
So, guys, things that I have learned.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, I get 8 more twisted points for being small.
For being what?
For being small size in my twisted form.
Oh.
I want to be small.
Well, that's an advantage.
So,
I'm also harder to hit, but here's the kicker. I have like -8 to my strength, which is bleh.
But you're like small.
I'm talking 6 to 30 pounds, probably 15.
I could lift you with my pinky.
Yeah, very like we're talking like probably. I think this is smaller than a toddler.
Yes.
And yet still proportional to a high school girl.
Right, you're like an elf.
Yeah.
Not like a Tolkien elf.
Like an actual traditional fairy tale elf. Yeah.
A shelf elf.
Elf on a shelf.
So.
Okay, I'm trying to figure
Very,
this
very
out
small,
here
so-
based off of Jules' twist.
Could you someone link the thing again? Because I need to just.
It's pinned.
Where's the pins? There. Pin messages. Okay.
Well, it looks like everything I have on here is based off of reactions, so I guess that's what I'm going to focus on.
Yeah, I'm going to just build up my my shooting abilities. I think because as I said, despite being because I'm so tiny, I got practically nothing I can do in terms of physical combat. But I do have my chill, twisted power that I picked up, which is good. It's good.
Yeah, does that let you fire like cold beams?
Yes.
That is good.
Okay, there it is. All right, cool.
So I shoot fire and can
So
create
I
force.
want to pick up. So we want to pick up skills, and I want to probably pick up. We've got 4 points, right? So firearms. I could pick up professional.
Do you already have firearms?
No. So I have to buy each rank.
Oh, so if you want, so it's a combat skill, so it's 4 points. Okay, 0 would be professional, right? So professional is level 2. So you could get it for level 2, and then you could just buy skill with it. Yes.
Yeah, for firearms, right? So because like I have a. Yeah, because I have like it's only 3 points according to this for that, so that's not bad.
I actually have 2 things I could go into, which would be blades and talons, which would count towards my claws.
I think because
or
I'm
monster
small...
bite, because it.
Okay, so my coordination does not go up, just my strength goes down. Okay, cool, and my build goes down. So I'm gonna buy that.
Let's see. Halo does what now? It's based on my reaction, so or based off my reflexes.
Wait, why didn't I buy that? God, what is?
No, I can block stuff for everyone. I can make shields.
All right, so why can't I buy firearms?
That's a great question. I'm probably gonna do this in my own time. So I'll probably make what I will probably do is put stuff in for reaction and or strength. Probably be a mixed, all things considered.
Okay.
What about the other stuff?
I'm a little confused as to why this isn't working here, Eric.
Yeah, I don't know. You might have to talk to Marco about that.
Yeah, I'm clicking the buy button.
It's just not doing anything.
It's just
Try reloading the character. It may be that they may change. So it's being changed. So that because of you might have to remake the character. Sometimes when they make changes, loading the character up, it breaks it in the new code.
Oh god. Okay, there we go. Now it worked. It worked. It worked this time. I just reloaded the file.
Okay.
So
okay.
Let's say I want to throw something, or I want. So, from what I want to do when I get later, it's kind of like lobbing grenades.
Yeah.
So, would that be more of a reflex, or?
So I think so throwing would generally be agility. There's a thrown weapon skill. I'll look it up in a second here.
I'm just looking at spheres, and I'm just imagining the sphere skill. I'm just imagining grenades, or just bombs in general, and lobbing them.
So if you want to be skilled with throwing things, yeah.
So I want to get spheres and strength.
All right, so I've got one leftover point.
We want the throwing ability.
I'll just pocket that for later.
So there's a skill called thrown weapon.
Okay.
for exactly that sort of thing. And on coordination, actually.
Coordinate.
Yeah, coordination. So, and it's expensive.
Oh. How much is it?
Like you don't have to pay anything. You just buy the. But you just buy it. It means that having the role you have costs more than for a non-combat skill. Thrown
Okay.
weapon it's like any other combat skill. Versus art or history or something, which are generally.
Trying to find the.
Hmm.
I'm trying
Trying
to
to see
find.
here what would be best to invest in with these character points, because I am not sure what the hell I'm doing, to be honest.
So
I would just go to shop, and then
Mhm.
skills, and then pick whatever one that you want to use for fighting. Like, do you want probably like street fighting? Makes sense for you, and then just pick up whatever you can afford.
I'll probably pick up some kind of brawl. Well, I'll probably get throwing stuff and punching or hitting with something heavy.
as
Yeah,
I'm going to leave the call, but sounds like you've got this underway. So talk to you guys.
I think we'll call it here, and we'll
Yeah.
just finish up our characters later before next session. So thank you all for watching, and we'll return with more Wonderland next week. Where
Outstanding.
we're probably going to fight some slimy people, which will be a lot of fun, I'm sure.
Slimy cultist, yes.
Slimy cultists. So see y'all, everyone watching. Thank you for watching.
Yeah. Bye, everyone.